And a lot of people have already decided they can't win. You can't compete with the greats of Primerica. It just can't happen for me. Well, I want to tell you, if you're in this room tonight, you're wrong, if that's your opinion. Let's go to bombshell number 1, and I'll show you why. If you're in this dome tonight, if you're with us here tonight in this room, and you leave this event in between now and the end of July, you get one personal recruit. One personal recruit. If you're not on track for Atlantis at the end of July, we're going to move you up and put you on track. Let's take a look at bombshell number 2. If you're not here in the dome, if you're not here tonight, in between now and the end of July, you go out and get 2 personal recruits. We're going to move you up to the on-track slot in your category. If you're on track, we'll do whatever's best. If you're on track, we'll leave you there. If you're not on track, we'll move you up. Folks, those of you that understand our contest, those 2 bombshells, that's worth hundreds of thousands of Builders Premium points. And what that means, if you thought you were out, you're wrong. What that means, if you thought you were in, you're wrong. Because you got a couple 100,000 people on your tail now. You better get moving. Making money's better. You want to see bombshell number 3? Yeah. How many in here are not yet regional vice presidents? Raise your hand. How many are going to be regional vice presidents one day? Let's see. We want you to start thinking like RVPs, acting like RVPs, even before you get there. And one of the great things about Primerica is RVP's bonus. So I'm announcing right now, in the month of August, we're going to do a special 5% bonus for future RVPs. But wait, we haven't got to the good part yet. If you're a future RVP and you want to compete for a 5% bonus in August, August starts right now. Qualify for that bonus, so you get to double up. It's July and it's August at the same time. Folks, 3 bombshells created so that you got yet another reason to get excited, another reason to go home charging, another reason to make sure your feet don't even hit the ground. You're running so fast when you get back, and close the month of July and start the month of August strong. I believe we can go 7-0 and 8-0 as a company with those announcements, don't you? Yeah. Y'all got me pretty worked up here. as exciting as that is, folks, I got to tell you, you didn't come here to win a contest. You didn't even come here to make a bonus. You came to this event. You came to this dome. You sacrificed to come here to change the course of history for your family, right or wrong.
Yes, sir.
And if you win a contest and you get a bonus along the way, that's great. But if you win a contest and get a bonus and you don't change the course of history for your family, folks, you lost. You lost. So I want to talk to you tonight about expanding your vision, about getting ready to do something big when you leave here, about getting ready to take action, doing something that defies logic, doing something that you tell people about it and you know when you tell them, they're going to smirk. They're going to doubt you. They're not going to believe you can do it because it's too unreasonable. You see, I'm a believer in doing the unreasonable. One of my favorite quotes in the world is from George Bernard Shaw. It's coming up on the screen. I'll read it to you. I won't read it to you there because that monitor's going out. But alas, I have notes. Okay, here it comes back. George Bernard Shaw. The reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable one persists in trying to adapt the world to himself. Therefore, all progress, not some, all progress depends on the unreasonable man. That's why you got to be unreasonable. Now, George Bernard, he's been dead a while. He lived a long time ago in a far less politically correct time. And his quote just talks about him. Now, I don't know this from personal experience, but I have heard that women, too, can be unreasonable. You didn't hear it from me. Nobody's off the hook. Everybody needs to leave here thinking about doing the unreasonable. Don't leave here with a small goal. Leave here with a huge goal. Don't leave here with a small action plan. Leave here with an unreasonable action plan. And I've got a lot of examples of leaders since last August in Costa when I first challenged you to make unreasonable commitments to unreasonable goals that came across this stage while you were here because you fought for that unreasonable goal. So many of you know every morning in Primerica we get an email that shows all the people that clicked over 100,000, 200,000, 300. And some mornings the list is 12 or 15 people long in a day. And one of the things I love to do in the morning when I first get to work and get that is I love to get out my phone and send a text message to every one of those people congratulating. I love it. And you know about half the responses I get, somebody says, Glenn, I made an unreasonable commitment last August, and that's the reason I got that diamond. That's the reason I got that ring. It's amazing what you've accomplished since you made those unreasonable commitments. I can tell you a ton of stories about those. But rather than just telling you, I'm going to tell you and show you. I want to give you one amazing example. Last January, Karen and I were sitting at home. I was sitting on the couch and I was looking at the email. Karen was sitting over on the love seat, reading something, and I opened up my email and I received an email from a person I'd never spoken to before. A division leader in Grants Pass, Oregon, by the name of Keith Stone. And I started reading Keith's email, and it was about he didn't qualify for La Costa. But he had watched La Costa online, and he said he'd been so touched by it, he decided to make some unreasonable commitments for his business and his life. And I started reading that email, and it was one of the most moving things that I've ever experienced in my life. Touched me in a way that I never expected. Just the impact Primerica has on people's lives. I interrupted Karen sitting over there next to me, and I said, Karen, look, I need to read you this. Only at Primerica do we have an opportunity to participate in something like this. And I started reading the email, and Karen will tell you, I didn't even make it through the first paragraph. I got so emotional. And I said, I can't read it. I handed her my iPad. I said, here, you read it. And it was an amazing, amazing story. And so I emailed Keith back. and congratulated him on making his commitment, and we started corresponding with each other. And every few days we'd email, he'd give me an update on what was going well in his business and what wasn't working. And I'd say, Keith, don't give up. He said, Glenn, but I keep stumbling and falling. And I told him one day, I said, Keith, humans stumble and fall, but heroes get back up and try it again. And he'd send me another email. And we did that for 6 months. And a few weeks ago, I picked up the phone and I called Keith's RVP, Jeff Boyd. I said, Jeff, I don't know, Keith. You and I barely know each other. We've met a couple of times. I said, is this guy a real deal? I said, is he sane? Is he like a real guy? You know, people email him, nobody knows what they're saying. And he said, man, he's the real deal. I said, Jeff is the RVP in this base shop. I want your permission to do something that's unreasonable. I want to call Keith and see if he'll tell his story of his battle, his struggles to meet his unreasonable goals to 40,000 people at the Georgia Dome. See, I want to hear it firsthand. And yesterday morning, for the first time, I got to meet Keith and Angie Stone. And I would like to introduce the Jeff Boyd Base Shop, along with now their regional leaders, Keith and Angie Stone, and ask them to join me on stage right now, because I'd like to talk to them a minute. You guys come on out and give them a hand. But they kept fighting, kept battling, and here's some of that. First of all, I want to recognize Jeff Boyd, the RVP that leads this base shop. Give Jeff a hand. God bless you, this great base shop. This is Keith and Angie right here. Just met yesterday, right, Keith?
Yes, sir.
Although we felt like we've known each other a long time.
Long time.
And Keith, you know you sent me that email a little over 6 months ago, and I've never been impacted by anything like that in my business life, 34 years with this company. And I'd like for you to share with this group of people a little bit about the business, unreasonable commitments, unreasonable goals you set. And you know, you've ticked a lot of them off your list. So talk about your successes first. That's a good place to start.
Well, first of all, glory to God, my Heavenly Father. I'll give that to you. Yeah, no, like I said, I watched him speak on making reasonable goals. I said a prayer and I just penned the email. I didn't know it was going to him. I had no clue. But I wanted to be an RVP. I said I want to walk across the stage. And I had some weight challenges, you can probably tell. But I wanted to lose some weight, and I wanted to be an RVP, and I want to build a team. So that's kind of what my goal was.
Right. But since then, I know because you kept me updated on the positives and the negatives.
True.
And I got a pretty long list of things you checked off. Securities license, right?
Yeah, and I
pass that, of course, easily on the first try.
I got this thing called dyslexia, and I mixed everything up, and I did pass. It took me a couple tries.
But you made it.
I made it.
Well, that was when you checked that unreasonable off the list. Congratulations. You decided to go full time.
Yeah, we made a commitment. If I could do my securities license, then I went full time.
So you quit your job, went full time. What a huge commitment. What a huge success that is. That's about as unreasonable as it gets. And on that run from RVP, man, you've had some pretty good runs the last few months, right? I think a lot of this team behind you is a result of a lot of that.
Yeah, I love these people behind me. We double-digit recruited, we challenged each other, and we just went for it.
And you made it to regional leader, right?
And I made it to regional leader.
All right, so that's a success. So that's at least 3 in my hands in the regional leader. Now, Keith, all that sounds so unreasonable that most of us in this room don't believe we're that good. Most people believe that we can't do what others can do. So we appreciate all that success, but share some of the work in progress with us. So you said you wanted to get to RVP, but that was still work in progress, right?
Yeah, it really is. And I overcame the securities and all that, but my base shop is great, but it's not big enough.
Got to have a bigger base shop. We had that discussion.